Why are you here today?
Well, I wanted to find out how Anita Beatty and her team are working in collaboration with the Fulton County Health Department in terms of the TB tuberculosis issue here in the homeless shelter community in Atlanta and Fulton County. And we set forth a protocol several weeks ago, and based on what I've seen today and what I've heard, it looks like they've been very cooperative. And so there's some good news. I mean, last year there were about 44 reported cases of tuberculosis in our county, and so far this year only 13. And of the 13, between the 4 big shelters in Fulton County, only 6 of them are here. And so I'm pleased in terms of the level of cooperation that we're receiving from Anita Beatty and her team. My focus has been primarily on this TB issue here. And so based on what I've seen, I'm very satisfied. I do think that this is a great opportunity to raise attention to the larger issue of homelessness in Fulton County. There are various reports that are out there, but I've heard as much as 7,000 people are homeless in Fulton County. These are people who are in shelters. There are also people who are living in residences where they're not the owner and they're just shacking up with others. And so this certainly is a big concern about homelessness here. And also I've heard that there are 2,000 people who are on the streets at night who are not in shelters. And so this is an opportunity to raise awareness about that larger issue and how we as a county can work with the homeless shelter community to better serve that community, to provide additional housing for them, but also to provide services. The key is everyone has a series of challenges that they have in life in terms of losing their homes, but the key is to provide services so that they can ultimately get back into permanent housing. You have emergency housing, you have transitional housing, but the goal is to ultimately provide the services, the support system to make sure people end up in permanent housing. So I want to pledge that the county, and myself in particular, work with the city to try to provide additional housing for our homeless community. We have identified Jefferson Place as one of the options, and this can accommodate as many as 150 men. And so this has been a good experience for me to go inside, see, touch and feel and hear. And again, in terms of the TB issue that has been widely reported, I'm reasonably satisfied that we are addressing this, getting great cooperation from Peachtree and Pine leadership, administrative team, and the numbers are going down. My goal is to get it down to 0. And so again, in terms of the TB issue, I'm reasonably satisfied with what's been happening over the past several weeks.
What do you attribute to the numbers coming down?
A level of, first of all, a protocol that has been established. The Fulton County Health Department has been in collaboration, confirmed with the CDC. There's a protocol that should be followed, so we've established a protocol. There's a memorandum of understanding with the Fulton County Health Department and Peachtree and Pine in terms of what we will do, announced visits, unannounced visits, and what Ms. Beatty and her team must do in terms of screening. And so there's a level of cooperation that's going on. So I count the cooperation, the clear guidelines that must be established, and the community here complying with those guidelines.
The city has talked about they'd like to move something else in here. As chairman of the commission, is there anything you can do to alleviate the concerns or the fears of the residents and the people who run this with that threat hanging over their head?
Well, my goal is to come up with a comprehensive strategy. Again, as I pointed out, there are upwards of 7,000 people who are homeless in Fulton County, and Peachtree Pine is just a small component of that. Only as many as 600 people are here, and so I want to provide and come up with a comprehensive strategy. And so there are providers in the community. There's Atlanta Union, there is Baptist Union. There are various providers out there who are dealing with the homeless issue, but we need to do it in a more comprehensive, coordinated, and collaborative way. And so that's the only way that you can bring down the number of homeless from 7,000 down to some respectable number. So again, thank you so much. This was a very informative visit. I want to thank everyone for providing me with this opportunity. My pledge is to work with the homeless community to make sure that we manage the situation much better going forward.